Hello everyone, we're back for the second part of that tutorial. This is Yan with Photography for Beginners, and I'm gonna follow up on the previous video that I sent to the group, which was centered on the import module in Lightroom. So if you remember, I've checked that box when I imported into a collection to synchronize the collection with the cloud, with Lightroom CC, and only Lightroom CC. You have the option to use Adobe's cloud to upload your pictures so that you can have access to these pictures from your mobile, from the web, from any computer connected to internet. You can have access to some basic editing features, and you have access to all your pictures. That's the most important part. I really love to use the iPad to edit, on the sofa or on the road. I take a look at the picture. I might decide to flag the pictures. Like I use the black flag for anything that's not worth editing, that's worth for the trash, and I use the white flag for anything that's worth editing. So that's what we're gonna do. You can see here that the task indicator here on the upper left hand corner of your screen is idle, so it's not doing anything. Everything has been pushed to the cloud. I can now switch to the iPad and show you how it's like. Let's do this now. Alright, so we are now on the iPad, and Lightroom doesn't do a great job at organizing the collection sets. So for example, Lightroom Mobile doesn't have any notions of collection sets, so you find all your collections at the same level in that view, the main view, when you run Lightroom Mobile. That's okay, you just have to remember the name of the collection to find it in the middle of the rest. So here the name was Photo World 0214. It's right there, and that's the photos that I've taken that day. So what I like to do, I like to browse the pictures and swipe through. I start with the first one, and when you swipe left and right here, you see that the left banner, the left toolbar on the bottom here is dedicated for rating and flagging. So what I love to use is the black flag here to mark a picture as not really useful. That's something that's I'm gonna delete later, and use the white flag to mark something that's worth editing. So in that specific case, I don't think I'm gonna do much with that picture. It's not great. So there's an option that is you can swipe up and down here. If I swipe up and down on the left, it lets me mark the flag. If I swipe up and down on the right, it lets me mark stars. So when I swipe, I don't have to go in the bottom of the screen to mark the pictures. It's pretty convenient. So when you hold the tab, you have access to different options, and you have access to what does the swipe up and down, what it does. It does it speed flagging, speed grading, or both. If I pick speed flagging, then I can swipe anywhere, and that's going to be the only option that I get. So I kind of like that combined view here. So there we are. That's not great. Let's mark it as delete. That one, I'm not gonna do anything with that as well. It's always the same thing. I come back from a photo session with hundreds of pictures, and I get to keep maybe two. So you can browse through like that. And there's nothing is definitive. So that's the idea of rating, and put the flags from the iPad. It's going to be synced back to your computer. It's not destructive. It just places a flag that you can always review later. If at some point you're going to want to get rid of these pictures, if that's what you do, I know I never keep anything that I feel like I'm not going to edit, and it's pretty useless. It's just taking space. I delete these pictures. So I mark the black flag here, and later on the computer, I'm gonna delete any picture marked with a black flag. That's how it works. So that's no good. That one maybe. So I put the neutral flag here. I like the mood of that picture actually. we'll see if there's anything we can do. Okay, we can keep these. Could be interesting. Yeah, maybe not. You know, you don't have to do everything at once. Let's see if there's anything that, you know, that's kind of salvageable. I kind of like, let's try to find some of the portraits that I had. There was some pretty cool stuff. There you go. Why not? So that one is one of my fellow Photoshop buddy, and it's pretty cool. What I like to do in Lightroom Mobile is the crop. It's pretty easy to do that here. You just have to swipe on the main toolbar here for the adjustment and use the crop icon here. And it's very well implemented. It's very easy to use. You get all the grids when resizing. It's really cool, and I find it really pleasing to do that from the iPad instead of, you know, staying at the computer. It's much more comfortable in the sofa, you know, with the iPad and do this quickly, do some crop, some quick edit. You usually don't want to edit colors or stuff like that that are not the screen of tablet is usually not ideal for editing. But you can play around and do some stuff. You know, whatever you do is going to be synced back to the computer, and you can cancel or you can adjust. It's really not a problem. I'm quite happy with that crop. And you can adjust some stuff. Let's see what we can do with the highlights here. You know, get some light back, get some details back on his left cheek. See if we can get some shadows back globally. Bring some balance in the exposure here. It's not bad. One thing you can't do here, it's only possible on the computer, is apply vignette with the gradient filters. But if you scroll all the way to the left, you have different options here, and for example, you have access to the vignetting tool. So you can do it here. I'm not a big fan because it's really centered. You don't have, it's not very flexible, but it lets you, you know, at least see how it's like, and I can do that again on the computer later. So let's see. My amount vignetting, I'm gonna bring it to the lower, and I think it's pretty harsh transition here, so I'm gonna feather more, and the midpoint I'm gonna bring it closer. Okay, well, it's not bad. I'm happy with this. You have access to some presets, and you have access to your film strip if you want to quickly go to another picture. That's a pretty good way to do it. Okay, so I'm happy with that picture. I'm gonna mark it with a white flag. There you go. And constantly live, it's uploading all your settings. As long as you have a network connection, it is uploading your changes to the cloud. So anything I made here is already available on the computer. Let's take a look now. Okay, here we are in Lightroom, the desktop version, and as you can see, everything has been uploaded. So my different flags are now marked on my pictures, and if I want to go, I know I've marked that portrait, and I can filter by white flag here in the bottom of the screen. So it brings me all the pictures that have been marked with the white flag. It's pretty convenient when you want to go straight ahead and edit the pictures that you spotted on the iPad. So I can double click on that, and as you can see, all my adjustments are already done. So if I go into the development module here and I look at the settings, I see that the highlights are already put down. I increase the shadows, and probably in the bottom here I will see my vignette. So post-crop vignetting is done. I don't like that, so let's say I'm gonna cancel the vignette. I double click on that and we're done with it. And instead of that, I'm gonna use the gradient radial filter. I like that tool better. I like to use a big feather filter. And maybe that's a bit too much. I'll see. And lower the exposure. Okay. Bring some exposure globally on the picture. Oh, it's been set down. I don't know why. Oh, I'm still on the brush. Okay. Exposure, and we can bring the highlights down a little bit more. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm happy with this. So how this shows you how I was able to use the two platforms pretty easily. Adobe did a pretty good job with Lightroom Mobile and integration with the Lightroom desktop version. It syncs automatically, you don't have anything to do with it. You can see on the upper left corner here that it's actually doing it. I have done some changes now. It's currently uploading these changes to the cloud and it's going to be available on the iPad in a few seconds. So that's my workflow. That's how I work. When I'm done with a session, I usually batch delete all the pictures that were marked as a black flag. It's done easily with the command delete shortcut, or if I hit command and delete here, it presents me with all the pictures that are that have a black flag, and it presents me with a dialog that says, hey, are you sure you want to remove this, and do you even want to delete the files from disks? So that's usually what I do. I'm gonna get myself a chance to work further on that, but that's pretty much how it works. Thank you everyone, thanks for watching, and as usual, put the comments on the Facebook group and I'm gonna answer all your questions. Thank you, bye bye.